and welcome to tutorial number 2, hair preparation. So again, this tutorial is designed for when your hair is being prepared by a family member or chemo buddy or by someone at your healthcare facility. So you should have now received your Paxman personal cap kit, which looks just like this. Within here, you will also find your hair care kit, which has all the necessary items required to prepare the hair prior to putting the cap on. So you're going to find a water bottle spray, which obviously needs water adding to it. You will also find conditioner. I'm going to talk about how and why we use these in a second. You will also find a fabric cotton headband, elasticated headband. Also find a towel, which can be put round the shoulders. You'll also find a brush, a special detangling brush. So the process of preparing the hair is, first of all, we're going to slightly dampen it, so wet the hair utilising the spray bottle. And the reason behind this and why we actually wet the hair is, first of all, is for conductivity. So this will aid with the cooling process and ensure that our scalp is at the correct optimum temperature for scalp cooling to be most effective. This also will eliminate any air that's in the hair, specifically for people with voluminous hair. Everybody does actually naturally have air in the hair, so that can act as a barrier for the cold cap to ensure that we're cooling our scalp to the optimum temperature. Then what we're also going to do is put a very small amount of conditioner on the hair. And again, the purpose for this is to help remove that cap after use. So if you imagine we have cold, wet hair, and then we have a cap that has sub-zero coolant flowing through it, that's an invitation for the hair to stick to the cap. So the conditioner helps to prevent that, and as I mentioned, helps to remove that cap after use. So now let's get on with the process of actually wetting the hair. Now, in terms of how wet the hair should be, that isn't determined by the number of sprays, it's actually by the hair type. So if you've got somebody who's already got quite thin hair, then you're not going to need to wet it as much. Whereas if you've got somebody who's got quite thick hair or very voluminous hair, then you're going to be required to spray it an awful lot more. But what we don't want to do is absolutely drench it and saturate it so that it's dripping, okay? So if they look like they've just stepped out of the shower, that's too much. But we just need to wet it enough for, again, for the purpose of conductivity and to get rid of that volume and that air. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to utilise this towel so that when we're spraying the hair, we don't get the clothes wet at all. So I'm just going to remove your hair, thank you very much. Place that round the shoulders like so, and I'm going to push your hair back. What's also important is that we're only going to wet the part of the hair that goes underneath the cap. So like my lovely volunteer here has got beautiful long hair, so we don't need to wet this part here because this isn't going underneath the cap, okay? So we'll take the spray bottle, okay, and I'm just going to start by spraying like so. You can rub your fingers through it if you like. Again. Just spraying like so until you can feel that any volume has been removed. But it's not too wet that it's dripping everywhere. So you can see I'm doing it quite a bit because my volunteer's hair is quite thick at the back. And that's like so. So I'm satisfied now that that has been dampened sufficiently. So you'll see that I'm now brushing it back as well. So it's away from the forehead. And this is really important if the person that you are preparing's hair has bangs. Okay, what you can also do is utilise the brush to brush it back as well. So again, this will determine on the person's hair type, as if you do have someone with curly hair, it might be more difficult to use the brush. So then what we're going to do is utilise the conditioner. So I've already mentioned why we do the conditioner. So what you're going to do is just use a very small amount. Like so. So whether that's a quarter or a dime, you can decide. Then we're going to spread that and smooth it over our hands like so. So it's all over. And then just smooth that over the top of the hair. So it's acting as that nice barrier. And again, the back, like so. There's no requirement to work it in or anything, just that nice layer over the top. Okay? So our next process is to utilise the headband. So the purpose of this headband is to ensure that you're as comfortable as possible once that cap is placed on the head. What it does, it provides protection and comfort on the actual forehead. So the way that this goes on is, I'm just going to pop that over your hair like so. My apologies. Pull the hair through. You might need to brush the hair back again like I have done. So we're going to get the hairband and it's going to sit just below the ears. It can slightly overlap, but as long as it's not going into the hairline. And we're going to pull it up to the hairline like so. Okay. Now, you can actually see from my lovely volunteer here that the headband is actually too big for her. So another option is to fold it up into half. Like so. Can go over the ears a little bit. Okay, so we can see that that's sitting more comfortably now. So that's now our hair prepared and we're ready then to fit the cap. Thank you.